We have waited 3 months, but the Champions League is finally back. And the round of 16 with some mouth-watering ties. PSG, Bayern, Napoli, Frankfurt, Liverpool, Real Madrid. You can go on and on. But people, as we always do with these round of 16 predictions, give your predictions in the comments down below. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Further ado, let's get into the predictions. The first matchup, it is RB Leipzig taking on Man City. Maybe when the draw was made, people were like, oh, Man City, easy favorites. RB Leipzig are undefeated in 17 games at the time of recording. 17 games. Marco Rose has done a fantastic job. His formation 4-2-2 is being very effective. Dominic Szoboszlai, Forsberg being the creators. Then you have Timo Werner, Andre Silva. All they need to do is put the ball in the back of the net. It's worked brilliantly. And this is all without Nkunku, who is going to be injured for at least the first leg. We'll have to see about the second leg. When it comes to RB Leipzig, I'm still worried about them defensively, but they are playing with so much confidence at the moment that if you're Man City, this is not going to be easy whatsoever. For Man City, people can say, oh, they don't look the same City. They're in a crisis, this sort of stuff. They ain't in no crisis. They're just in a little bit of a mini rebuild. They're trying to redevelop themselves. That's why you see Pep. Cancelo, if you're not with us, get out of here. That's what he did. Rico Lewis has been amazing. This guy, amazing. How he can just convert into the midfield. Rico Lewis, you take a bow. And with Erling Haaland going up against a former Bundesliga team, he is going to be salivating at the mouth to get the goals. And of course, you see the likes of Mahrez in form. De Bruyne's got to pick it up. I think the biggest thing for City is they got Ruben Dias back. Their defense has been shockingly bad in 2023 in my opinion, but getting Ruben Dias back is going to be a big help against this high-flying RB Leipzig team. This is going to be close, but it should still be a Manchester City win. The second matchup, it is Club Brugge, the surprise from the group stage, taking on Benfica. Of course, as we know, Club Brugge have a new manager this year. It is Scott Parker of all managers. An interesting choice by Club Brugge. They have been struggling since he's been manager. At the time of recording, I'll say it again. He's picked up 1 win in 5. Biggest thing was for Club Brugge during the group stage, they kept clean sheets. After clean sheets, Mignolet was turning into the best goalkeeper in the world. Now they're conceding for fun. So that's something they have to figure out against this Benfica team especially. But Club Brugge, they have a lot of good pieces. You think of Noah Long, you think of Nusa, you think of Van Aken in the 10 role. So Club Brugge, look, they're going to play with no pressure. This is sort of a roles reversed for Benfica. Remember last year in the round of 16, Ajax, everybody picked Ajax. Everybody had Ajax, and then Benfica won. In this matchup, most people are going to pick Benfica. So Club Brugge, no pressure, play your game, and Scott Parker, he's going to have a tall order against Roger Schmidt and Benfica. Of course, losing Enzo Fernandez is going to be a big deal, but this Benfica side, there is something about them. Roger Schmidt, in his first season, is doing wonders. They were fantastic in the group stage. To top a group with PSG and Juventus, and in that last game against Maccabi Haifa, I mean, honestly, you think of the likes of Gonzalo Ramos, Rafa Silva, we'll see if he's back for the first leg. He'll definitely be back for the second leg. Then, of course, now with losing Enzo, Chiquinho's going to slot into that CDM role. Arsnes has been a great addition as well. So there are so many pieces when it comes to this Benfica side. You can bring Guedes off the bench. It's just Roger Schmidt and Benfica, they cannot underestimate Club Brugge. They might be struggling, but they can cause a surprise. But I'm still going to pick Benfica to advance to the quarterfinals. Again, UCL final rematch. Give me a second, people. There we go. This might be the last time I wear this jersey when it comes to the Champions League predictions, so I gotta wear it. It is Liverpool against Real Madrid. Again, if you're a Liverpool fan, PTSD is kicking in. Because Liverpool simply cannot beat Real Madrid in the Champions League. The last time they did it was 2009 when Fernando Torres and Gerrard destroyed them 4-0 at Anfield. What is going to happen this time around? Well, unfortunately for Liverpool, it is not looking the greatest. On-field issues, off-field issues, so much stuff going around the club. It just seems like it's a toxic environment. Klopp really just looking clueless on the sideline. It is a very sad situation when it comes to Liverpool, and the players are not stepping up. They have to step up in the Champions League. They know this is their only shot now of winning any trophies because they're out of the FA Cup, League Cup. They ain't winning no Premier League, so this is it. Will they rise to the occasion, or will the struggles continue for this side who can't defend, have no control in the midfield, even though the midfield looks better with Bajcetic, Keita, and Thiago? If that midfielder is going up against Real Madrid, oh boy. And then the attack, it looks toothless and lifeless. So there's a lot of issues when it comes to Liverpool. Overcome all the issues and the struggles this season to beat Real Madrid. I don't know, man. Liverpool fans, let me know in the comments. How are you feeling ahead of this game? Because for me, I'm dreading it. Let's get to Real Madrid's side. For Real, they did struggle at the beginning of 2023. But now I think they're starting to find their groove. Obviously, that 0-0 draw with Real Sociedad was a little bit of a setback, but we've seen Real Sociedad are a very good team this year. It's Real. It's UCL nights. These guys just step up. They did that time and time again last season in the knockout stage. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do it again. If you look at the likes of Benzema, Vinicius, you could say they're having underperforming seasons, but when the bright lights of the UCL hit the Santiago Bernabeu, they rise to the occasion. Even Ceballos is looking good. The attack and the defense picks itself. But that midfield choice is going to be interesting from Carlo. There's only going to be one winner. I'm sorry. Even though Real have been, you could say, struggling at times this season, it's nothing compared to Liverpool. It really isn't. And they just have that edge over this Liverpool side. They have beaten them in 2 Champions League finals. Liverpool haven't beaten Real Madrid in the Champions League since 2009. And it will not happen this time around. Real to win. Is it going to be a blowout? No, but I could see something like a 4-2 aggregate scoreline. The fourth matchup, it is Milan taking on Tottenham. Maybe when the draw was made as well, people were saying 50-50. Well, if you look at the way Milan are playing, they look like a relegation side at the moment in the Serie A. Conceding for fun. Magnan is a big miss. Tato Rosano, he's just not a goalkeeper. I think he's just a statue in goal and he just lets in goals. Maybe it's not all down to his fault because we have seen the center backs and the full backs have been underperforming. No control in the midfield, just so easily exposed. That's the biggest issue when it comes to this Milan side. There is just no cohesion. It just seems like they're playing on the playground and they pick the team itself. So let's see with the next couple games heading into this tie, will the fortunes change for this Milan side? Will Pioli maybe switch his formation, maybe tactically sit back a bit more? But I look at the likes of Kalulu, he's got to step up his performances. Tonali, Benacer, definitely Rafael Leao, Giroud. These guys need to come up clutch for Milan in the Champions League, especially going up against this Tottenham side who also are struggling, but they have firepower. We know Conte and the UCL. It doesn't go well with each other. It's like me and the cold. I hate the cold even though I live in Finland. I dread it. I don't want to go outside. That's Conte with the UCL. So now they picked up Pedro Porro. Fantastic. I think he's exactly the sort of Conte player. He just can drive forward the ball in the right wing back spot. He can have a great connection with Kulusevski. Kane, we know that the guy's always dangerous, but I'm looking at Son. Son, you got to start stepping up because Tottenham just picked up Danjuma. Danjuma is a goal-scoring machine when he's hot. When he's cold, he's ice cold like Siberia. When it comes to Spurs, it's just about you have to be clinical. They're going to get their chances. With the way Milan are playing, Tottenham are going to get their chances to score. They have looked a liability at the back as well, but I just think this is only heading one way with the way it's going because I just see Conte getting the better Pioli. Even though Pioli is a very good manager, and we know he's a good manager, but Conte maybe wants to prove something to the Spurs board, to everybody who doubts him in the UCL. He can kill off a lot of things in this matchup, and I'm going to go with Tottenham Hotspur to advance to the quarterfinals. This one's going to be fun, people. This one's going to be fun. Frankfurt going up against Napoli. If you are a fan of either team and you're going to the game, the atmosphere is going to be insane. Let's start off with Frankfurt, right? They're on a roll. Kolomuani, the best free transfer in all of Europe. Eintracht Frankfurt, they are now on a groove and they are playing well. And I just look at Kolomuani. This guy is such a beast of a striker. I hope he stays for another season at Frankfurt. And I have to look at the likes of So and Rode in the midfield. They're going to have a tough game against Lobotka, Anguissa, and Zielinski. So those two midfielders got to be monsters because we have seen Napoli's midfield is just so controlling this season. How they just suffocate and pass it around the opponents is amazing to see. So Frankfurt are going to find it difficult. Another player, Kevin Trapp, is going to be a busy man. He's going to have to come up clutch. But we know with Kevin Trapp, this guy's an excellent goalkeeper. But this is going to be a total for Eintracht Frankfurt. They're going to have to take advantage of the first leg being in Frankfurt because the second leg in Naples could be very difficult for them. Can anyone stop Napoli? Can anyone? Destroyed the opponents in the group stage. High flying in the Serie A. 13-point lead. Napoli are amazing to watch. Kivica, Ozinen, acting like they're Shaq and Kobe. This team is almost unstoppable at the moment. The confidence, the freedom, the different ways they can just beat opponents. Yes, they maybe give up chances, and they're going to have to be worried about that to give chances to the likes of Kolomoani. They have, like Kim Min-jae, got to be strong. Rahmani got to be strong. Meret, I had a lot of doubts about him before the season, has stepped up big time. But I love this team. I simply do. The way they play the football, and they can outscore you. They can keep clean sheets. It's just amazing to watch what Spalletti has done with this team. But it's going to be interesting to see how the attitude is going to be into this game. Because, of course, we can say, oh, Napoli will win easily. But there's that focus on the Serie A. It is vital to them because they want to finally win the Serie A for the first time in 30 years. But they're going up against Frankfurt. They cannot take them lightly. But however, I'm still going to go with Napoli winning this tie. I think this is going to be amazing. I could see high-scoring games. Should be a great watch for the neutral, but Napoli to advance. The record transfer spenders. Chelsea going up against Borussia Dortmund. Back in November, people were saying 50-50. Chelsea, they don't look good. They don't know how to score. But now, with the signings they have made, it's going to be interesting to see who Potter picks as the 3 players. Because only those 3 of the new players they signed in January can join the squad. Is it going to be Mudryk, Felix, and Enzo? Enzo's definitely going to be one of them. Is it going to be Badashile, who looks very good for Chelsea? Very good signings. But it's going to take time to get the cohesion and the chemistry and the actual tactics to blend well with each other, right? We see the likes of Reece James coming back from injury. Big plus. So Chelsea are very fascinating in this tie. Really are. You don't know what you're going to expect. They could be amazing or they could be a disaster in a car crash. And they're just like, yeah, this season is a whole write-off. We're going to be focusing on the next season. But against Dortmund, you're going to get your chances. So Kai Havertz, Mudryk, and whoever plays on the right wing, whether it's Sterling or Madueke, have to be clinical. Dortmund are defensively such a liability. Such a liability. But Potter, he's under pressure. He's got to prove in these Champions League games, in the big nights, that he is the manager who can bring that glory back to Stamford Bridge. So this is a big tie for him. Borussia Dortmund have been better. They have been better in 2023. Giovanni Reina coming up clutch. You look at Jude Bellingham being amazing. It's just defensively, man. It's always going to be a question mark with this team. But maybe it is Schule and Schlotterbeck who can be the 2 center backs. Mats Hummels can simply not start anymore for this team. So I'm fascinated to see how Dortmund will approach this in the first leg. Are they going to take the game to Chelsea? Are they going to sit back and hit them on the counterattack? There's a multitude of ways that Dortmund can approach this matchup. And Jude Bellingham is definitely going to want to show something to the Premier League side because the guy is a special player. Moukoko as well. Haller coming back from injury. For the first time, it seems like Dortmund are actually very healthy. They've always had an injury crisis, but right now, this is the perfect time to get all the players back, and Terzic has a tough choice ahead of him. I honestly think this is still 50-50 because we just don't know what Chelsea are going to show up, and we just don't know what Dortmund are going to show up. I'm going to go slightly with Chelsea. I just think they have that experience in the tough moments in the Champions League nights led by Thiago Silva, and I'm going to go slightly with Chelsea to advance over Dortmund. Another 50-50 matchup. Porto taking on Inter. Of course, Porto topped their group yet again. You write off Porto, you underestimate this side, and Conceição proves you wrong over and over again. They can lose player after player, still are a tough side to beat when it comes to European nights. They're defensively, they're just a rock. They're a rock. Marcano, Pepe, Diogo Costa. Then you have Taremi, Otavio up front. Porto are such a difficult side to play against. They can make it physical. Conceição just tactically is such a mastermind. I really like Porto. It's just, can they score enough goals? At times in the Primeira Liga, they do struggle. But with Taremi, this striker, yes, he might dive a lot, but he is a clinical striker. Conceição against Inzaghi, I'm taking Conceição in that battle. But let's talk about Inter. Inter are hot and cold at the moment. They're hot and cold. You just don't know what Inter is going to show up. Could be the amazing Inter that showed up against Milan in the Supercoppa in the first half where they just destroyed them. It was an annihilation. How they were able to just hit them on the counterattack. Lautaro and Dzeko. That's probably going to be the partnership for the rest of the season because Lukaku is a no-show anymore. Skriniar, he's going to have to prove himself because we know he's going to leave and Inter fans are not really happy about it. So how is his mindset going to be into these Champions League nights? And I look at the likes of Barella, Mkhitaryan, Çalhanoğlu. They're going to have a tough game in the midfield. So this is very 50-50. And Inzaghi, maybe it's not tactically, his in-game management is not the greatest. When you're going up against Conceição, you have to be prepared. So yes, we can say maybe on the pitch, 50-50 when it comes to the players. But on the sideline, I'm giving it 70-30 for Porto. Could that be the difference in this tie? And especially with the second leg being at Porto? Who knows? I could see this easily going to penalties, honestly. Because there's obviously no more away goals. So I fancy this going to penalties. And I'm going to go with Porto. I think Porto will advance over Inter. I just think Inter will want to focus on the Serie A and securing a top 4. So Porto to advance to the quarterfinals. The last one, and the most fascinating one. It is Bayern Munich going up against Paris Saint-Germain, PSG. Goals, goals, and goals. That's what I see in this tie. Just goals galore. For Bayern, obviously no Neuer. You picked up Sommer. You picked up Cancelo. They are back in Nagelsmann. Nagelsmann needs to prove he's a good manager. This guy, he overthinks it. He overthinks it. You cannot overthink it against this PSG team because we know what the front line is going to be. We know the midfield is good, but we know that defensive line for PSG is a liability. So if you're Nagelsmann, you're going to have to think tactically. How can I break down this PSG team? We don't know if Sadio Mane is going to be back for the first leg. He'll definitely be back for the second leg, so that's going to be a big plus. But look at the way Choupo-Moting is playing. This guy's a goal-scoring machine. You see the cross Cancelo put to Choupo-Moting? Brilliant, brilliant. Then, of course, with the likes of Musiala, Leroy Sané, Gnabry, they have weapons. Alphonso Davies, they have weapons, Bayern Munich. And that is going to be something they can deploy on this PSG team. However, it's just down to Nagelsmann. If he plays a formation where it's a 4-1-4-1 and he leaves Kimmich as the lone CDM, honestly, you're just asking for trouble if you're Nagelsmann. Because, yes, Upamecano and De Ligt have been improving. We know they have a mistake in them. We know. And especially in high-pressure moments. So what about PSG? Well, the news is that Mbappe will be missing the first leg. Could that be the difference maker in this time? I mean, you got Messi, you got Neymar, you got Hakimi, Verratti. So players got to step up in the absence of Kylian Mbappe. But PSG have been weird lately. I don't know if it's just they don't take Liga seriously or if Gautier is just trying too many different things, but it just seems like they're not a cohesive unit. Like, they don't control the midfield that well. The defense looks shockingly bad. Of course, they got Donnarumma, but I'm just worried about them when it comes defensively. And we saw that in the group stage, how Juventus got at them, how Benfica got at them. And if you just take the game to PSG, they don't know how to react. Because it's so easy for them in Liga where they just control games. And of course, they just get caught up in the counterattack. Against this Bayern side, they got to be on point. But Messi and Neymar, see what their motivation is. Because Liga is just, yeah, we do it on the weekends. The Champions League is where these guys need to show up for PSG. They, honestly, PSG's owners are probably like, we could care less if we finish 3rd or 4th in Liga. If we can win the Champions League, we have achieved what we wanted to do with this side. So Messi, Neymar, you got to step up. And Mbappe, when it comes to the second leg, let's see how he does it. I mean, a prediction-wise for this game. I mean, when it comes to history and PSG in the Champions League, they bottle it quite a bit. Barca, Manchester United, Real Madrid last year. They just constantly bottle in the pressure moments. Can this side overcome that against Bayern Munich? And we know Bayern Munich, when it's pressure moments, they rise to the occasion. Of course, this is also a rematch of the Champions League final in 2020. So will that be on the minds of certain PSG players? Neymar, Verratti, they want to get their revenge. For me, Mbappe's missing that first leg could be the turning point. It could be the turning point. And if Nagelsmann just doesn't overthink it, I think Bayern Munich will advance to the quarterfinals. There you have it, people. The round of 16 Champions League prediction. And of course, the Europa League and the Conference League predictions will be coming out soon. So stay tuned for that on the channel. Further ado, have a beautiful day. Stay safe in this crazy world. Remember to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And until next time, adios.